Will the pro-hijab lobby accept the order 9 months after the protests in Karnataka? It all comes down to tomorrow. Shock across India over the Kerala occult murders. Human sacrifice sending shockwaves. Left leader arrested along with 2 others.
A CPM worker who is accused of butchering. The Chief Minister doesn't care to take stringent action, urgent action to gear up the investigation. Instead,
big political fight breaks out over the human sacrifice case in Kerala as the left leader is arrested. AAP leader Gopal Italia has defiant Heckle's Republic when questioned. Controversy in Jammu and Kashmir over the electoral rolls. Gupkar raises questions as an order says those who've spent over 1 year are eligible to vote. For the last 9 to 10 months, ladies and gentlemen, in what started in Udupi in Karnataka, it started off as protests asking for the hijab to be allowed inside classrooms. In fact, for years together, hijabs have been allowed inside campus, inside the school compound, inside cafeterias, but not inside the classroom. And that was made out to be an issue. A lot of people were misled. An impression was created around the world that the hijabs were banned in campuses. And finally, 9 to 10 months after the protests in Karnataka, in Udupi, Karnataka, and after all these months, and after the Karnataka High Court backed the Karnataka government's stand that hijabs cannot be allowed inside classrooms, the Supreme Court hearing the case is expected to deliver the verdict tomorrow. Now, all eyes will be on the pro-hijab lobby, those who include politicians, political parties, because for months now they've been trying to politicize the hijab. It all comes down to tomorrow, and we are counting down to that. Post 10 a.m. on Thursday is when the hijab verdict is expected. Here's what you can expect.
Extraordinary anti-hijab protest scenes from across the world. Lawmakers chopping their hair, Oscar-winning actresses cutting their hair, women burning their hijab in protest. It all started from Iran when a teenager, Masha Amini, died 3 days after falling into a coma following her arrest in Tehran by the morality police for an alleged breach of the Islamic Republic's strict dress code for women. While the Iranian government is arresting people involved in protest, the world is standing up in solidarity. Compare this with the scenes in India.
ഇതിലാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഐഡന്റിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഈ ഐഡന്റിറ്റിയെ ചോദ്യം ചെയ്യാൻ നിങ്ങൾക്കൊരു അവകാശവുമില്ല.
But the so-called liberal lobby which supported hijab ban in India has gone silent on the anti-hijab protests across the world. Now the Supreme Court is all set to pronounce its judgment tomorrow. Will the pro-hijab lobby accept the verdict? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
It all comes down to tomorrow. Sangeet Jogi joining us, Professor DU and political analyst, Professor Pawan Silla, Hindu scholar, Feroz Bakht Ahmed, former Chancellor of the Maulana Azad National Urdu University. Atikur Rahman is also joining us on the burning question. Kamru Chowdhury of the Congress Party and Sujata Bashir, political analyst, will be joining us live from Srinagar. All right, she's joining us live. Let me start with Feroz Bakht Ahmed. Feroz can start and then I'll get Sujata Bashir to respond. Feroz, Feroz, for 10 months now, Feroz, they've tried to confuse everyone. You know, they're so confused, Feroz, until a month ago, they were all saying hijab, hijab, right to freedom, freedom, pro-choice, choice, hijab, bad country, India, does not allow hijab, etc. You'll be surprised, same set of people then started saying, what? Hijab? No, we stand with the women of Iran. We stand with the women of Iran. we want the hijab to go. There were many people, actually, Feroz, many people who took a stand on hijab, flipped, looking at the pictures from Iran. Do you think they will admit or accept the verdict tomorrow, Feroz? And I'll get Sujata to respond to you.
Sure.
First of all,
is my voice reaching you, Niranjan?
Yes, I can hear you. Sujata ji, please listen to Feroz and then I'll give you a turn. Please.
All right,
we have enough
fine.
time.
Please. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Niranjan. Thanks for inviting me for a public debate on this. You know, a lot of confusion has been created as far as this lobby in Karnataka is concerned. You know, hijab was just banned in the classroom, in the school. It was not banned in the markets, in the malls, in the weddings. Nowhere else it was banned. And, you know, recently I was in UAE. There, you know, the sheikhs were saying that, you know, India is creating a lot of trouble for Muslims regarding hijab. Hijab has not been banned in India. In fact, there's a college, there's a school. You know, the schools and colleges have a system. They have their dress code. You know, if the principal says no child will write with green ink or red ink, it has to be followed. In the same way, the principal said that hijab is not, or any form of a religious, you know, dress is there to be in the college. So that was only banned. And they are saying hijab is banned. They are saying, you know, the people in India are after the jugular of Muslims. It's all, they are demonizing the country. And let me, finally, for the last 5 seconds, let me continue, Niranjan, that India is a land of peace, and we Muslims thank our stars that we are born not in Iran, not in Syria, not in Afghanistan or Pakistan. India has a lot of freedom for all kinds of people, and hijab ultimately is just a piece of cloth. And hijab really, if you talk of hijab, if you talk of sharm o haya, that is of kirdar, that is of character, that is of inner eye. Hijab is not a piece of cloth. Nowhere it is mentioned in the Holy Quran, nowhere it is mentioned anywhere in the Hadith, yet they are making a humbug, they are demonizing India, they are in fact giving a bad name to our nation. It's something which is to be in fact understood by the Muslims of India. And you see in Iran they have killed so many girls, they have killed 93 people who are you know, protesting against hijab. So this hijab protest which is there in India, they should take a leaf from Iran and they should immediately stop it. You know, we are not following you know, any religious, you know, we are not following any Sharia law in India. We are following the law made by the largest written law of the world, made by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. We are not following any Sharia or any other religion's code or personal laws. If the school says no hijab, no kada or no turban, it has to be followed. Moreover, lastly, hijab is not the principal tenet, it is not the main you know, part of Islam. And they say that yes, it is the choice of the girl. What is this? So these people who are saying no hijab, no kitab, they are misguiding these Muslim girls. These girls will be Fatima Biwis. They will be you know, they will be the lawyers. They will be the pilots. They will be the judges. Even Fatima Biwi, when she goes, she used to sit in the seat of judgment, she never put a hijab, and otherwise she put her hijab. So it is a matter of choice. So don't mislead these girls of Karnataka. Let them study. Do not make their futures bleak. This is my last word.
No, you please tell me, Sujata Bashir ji, did you know, Sujata Bashir, that the hijab was allowed inside the campus? The hijab was allowed everywhere in that exact same school, the PU college in Udupi. It was allowed. All these years it was allowed. But what's the messaging that went out, Sujata ji?
Why it was been pulled? Why it was been pulled from that girl's head?
Like, we are a democratic country.
Yes.
India is a democratic country, so
Yes.
it should not be banned. It's a choice. If I want to wear a hijab, it should be my choice. Okay. If the girl was wearing in the school, why her hijab was taken off? Why? At least there should be a proper guiding to the student of Hindu, Muslim.
No, but
We
there
should
is a
respect every
uniform.
religious.
There is a uniform across India in schools. In schools,
What?
let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you.
Is this-
Let me tell you.
is this-
Bring
No, no,
the
let me tell you,
word
let me
like
tell you.
Hindu and Muslim.
No, no, let me tell you something.
India
Sujata
is a
ji,
secular
I'll tell you
country.
something. No,
And
no,
do not misguide people.
Sujata ji, a lot of people were
They
misled.
divide the
No,
nation.
A lot of people were
Divide the
misled,
nation.
Sujata ji, because in schools you have a uniform and you have to follow the uniform.
Should be for everyone. Uniform should not be one for one particular religious. If it is not allowed, the hijab should not be allowed in the girls in the schools. So it should be banned for all the things. Like if the Hindu or a Sikh is wearing a turban, so you should not allow them a turban or wear a kada or anything. So it means why Islam only? Why Islamic
Now,
girls having
please, you are
stopped-
sadly mistaken. Turban is the principal tenet. It is the
It's essential.
essential tenet of a Sikh's religion. Let me tell you, turban cannot be
it is not-
disbanded.
it is
It
not
has to be
mentioned in
allowed.
Islam to
So far
wear
as
hijab
hijab
for
is
the women.
concerned, it is not the essential core of Islam. It is not the essential,
it is a mandatory.
essential,
I can give you the verses of Quran.
principle of
I have
Islam.
verses of Quran where it is
No,
written
it is,
the women
you
should
see,
be
you
covered
can
their
wear
heads.
it. The word, that is fine. But if you are studying in a secular school where English, Hindi, all these subjects are taught, if the school
Yeah.
says hijab is not to be worn, ghungat is not to be worn, kada is not to be taken, it is not to be showed in the classroom, so hijab can be banned, and it is not banned
Yes.
outside the school.
There it
You
should
wear it
be.
anywhere.
When it is
Why
for
do we
every
want to
religious, then it
wear
should
it
be
in the
banned.
class?
See, that's what I'm saying. If it is banned, a kada or a turban or any gungat, so it
the
should
Hindu
be banned.
girls are not
But
coming in.
particularly-
Hindu girls are not coming in ghungat. Yes, nobody else is coming in their own, religious dress. If they, you see, I think it's a useless debate totally, because if the girls, they keep hijab in the bag in the classroom, again they are outside the classroom or outside the campus, they can wear it. So it's a useless debate. They are misguiding these poor girls. These girls can become,
I'll tell you,
masters
sir,
in their
let me
field.
also tell you
They
one
are
thing.
trying to derail their education.
Feroz Bakji, you know a fact? Republic TV
Ji.
was investigating. Kamru's putting up his hand. Atik also wants to come in. I'll just go across to Atik. I'll tell you something, Feroz ji. From a reporting as a journalist from a reporting perspective, okay? When this was happening, we were reporting from Udupi in Karnataka. Not just in Udupi, but the entire South Canara region, which is generally, it's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive area which has seen violence over the years and decades, okay? We saw, ironically, some of the students who were part of this protest, the pro-hijab protest, were also part of the Campus Front of India. Now, let me tell you the internal dynamics of what we reported, okay? They were part of the Campus Front of India. It so appears that the Campus Front of India, which is today banned by the government of India for being an affiliate of the Popular Front of India, right? Their affiliates were caught red-handed in this protest. They were giving them legal support. They were with them during the protest, in the middle of the protest. They were holding news conferences from Bangalore to Udupi. Now, all of these are documented facts. The Campus Front of India leader even told Republic, we are not giving them support from behind. We are actually standing with them and we are fronting this for them, which tells you the nature of this protest. So let me start by asking Atikur Rahman. Atikur Rahman, times have changed. 10 months is a long time. Atik, I'll bring you in along with Professor Pawan Sinha or Sangeet Ragi can come in. Atik, the whole world is standing with the women of Iran. Do you stand with the women of Iran? Atikur Rahman. Let's start with that. Do you stand with the women of Iran in their fight against the hijab, Atik? 10 months is a long time, Atik.
Well said, Niranjan. Niranjan, all courage to the Iranian women in
Yes.
solidarity with them. They have shown to the world what exactly
Yes,
the
thank you, Atikur Rahman says. Atikur Rahman is
I
anti-hijab.
rebel.
No, thank you. Fantastic, good stand, Atik. Atik, I applaud the stand taken by you.
Complete, Niranjan.
I applaud the stand taken by you. No,
Niranjan,
3 words were enough. No, you've taken a stand. You've taken a stand.
I would like
Fantastic.
to complete.
You've taken a stand. Don't do a U-turn now. Don't do a U-turn. Don't do a U-turn.
No,
don't do a U-turn.
No.
Don't do a U-turn. You've just applauded the women of Iran for their courage.
I rebel.
You have just applauded the women of Iran for their
And
courage.
we also need to applaud the women.
Oh, you were going to say but. Oh, I forgot. You were going to say but.
You
were going to say but.
Given all solidarity equally, Niranjan.
To who?
That's why I was quoting the proverb. I rebel, therefore I
I'll get in with Sangeet Ragi. I knew you were going to say but. I knew you were going to say but. I knew it. I knew you were going to say but.
Sujata ji, please allow me to complete.
Yes, complete your point and then Sangeet is coming in. Complete your point, Atik. Sangeet is coming in.
If you are with the women of Iran,
I complete, Mr.
Feroz?
Yes, Atik, I'm getting in Atik and Sangeet. Ferozi, 1 minute. Let Atik make his point and then Sangeet will come in. Yeah.
Thank you, Niranjan. Thank you. So what I was saying is, I rebel, therefore I exist. Mr. Feroz, the Quran says, guard your modesty. Please explain to the Republic viewers, how would a girl guard her modesty? In what fashion do you expect her to guard her modesty?
I think, yeah, okay, Sangeet is coming in. Okay. So yes, Sangeet, go ahead.
Niranjan, let me begin with where Atikur Rahman has left. A woman is not, cannot be expected to guard her modesty only through, covering her head or covering her face. That means burqa or hijab.
Who are you to decide, sir?
No, sir, please allow me.
Sangeet Ragi, you are a Islamophobe.
No, please, let's not call names. Atik, not required. Not required. Both of you can agree to disagree. Both of you can agree to disagree. Let's have a decent debate.
No Islamophobia,
I request both of you
in this debate.
Let's have an informed, decent debate, please.
It's a discussion.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Niranjan,
No Islamophobia.
I'm really shocked to see the stoic silence maintained by the liberal gang and the liberal giroh of India, which includes even the journalists, TV channels, and the intellectuals of this country. Nobody has, even on slightest of the things, they come out on the street, they hit the street with the candle march, they hit out with the protest march, and no women organization from the left wing or any wing as such is coming out openly in support of the women of Iran. Kudos to them. I salute their bravery who have come out to protest against a medieval mindset.
Misguiding.
That want, these men should have
misguiding your viewers.
Women. Women for them is the object. It is the object for who
are misguiding your viewers of Republic TV.
No, 1 minute. You don't have to talk about what women mean to anybody, Sangeet. It's okay. It's fine. No, 1 minute. I'll tell you. But I agree with one point that you spoke of how they didn't speak when they had to, right? I'll show you a video. I have that video. I'll just open that. But I want to speak over those shots, right? Now, this is the story, just to add to what Sangeet is saying, right? This is the story of Mandana Karimi, okay? Have you heard the name Mandana Karimi, Kamru? Kamru, have you heard of Mandana Karimi? Kamru? Mandana Karimi.
Yeah, I'm listening. Please complete your statement.
Okay, I'll complete your statement. Mandana Karimi is an Iranian artist. I'll tell you why I said it. I'll complete my point and you can comment. Mandana Karimi is an Iranian artist based in Mumbai. So Mandana Karimi is an Iranian artist and she came out on a Sunday afternoon to protest, I think it was either Bandstand or Carter Road, one of these areas where most of the film industry and the fraternity lives/works out of. And she was protesting there alone. An Iranian artist protesting there alone with a banner, a poster. She was holding up the placard. Now what happens is, there was some reporting done. I think some media houses were there. We actually also reached out to Mandana Karimi. We reached out to her and we asked her, Mandana, can you speak to us? And she said, I don't want to speak now. I'm a little, I don't want to get into details of what she said. But it appeared that she feared a boycott by people in the industry. Now let me tell you why I'm saying what I am. Mandana Karimi, she protested while showing solidarity for the people and the women of Iran. She called up artist A, actor A. Actor A said, I need to speak to my PR team. Okay. Actor 2 said, it's a Sunday. Actor 3 said, you know, I will have to see, we don't live in Iran. Actor 4 said, I will issue a statement, it's better to give interviews. Now please tell me, Kamru, on this issue, do you see hypocrisy of these actors slash Bollywood, the same kind who came out in support of the hijab? When it comes to fighting the hijab and standing with the women of Iran, what's their problem? Do you see a basic change in the stand taken there? Kamru's coming in. Kamru and Professor Sinha.
Nilanjan, please give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm the last one to speak out here. First and foremost, you're phrasing the question. Phrasing of the question is the problem out here. You know, it smells of male patriarchy out here.
Why?
Nilanjan, the point that why I'm raising here, there is a stark similarity in the incidents of Iran and incidents in India with regards to the hijab issue. You know, Iranian and Indian women's protests have pushed back at imposing on women's choices and their bodies. The men are imposing this on this. There is a stark difference between these two. Why I am telling this? Because in India, you know, the hijab issue has been communalized and politicized to such an extent that this same Indian Muslim women who were once speaking against the male patriarchy of this hijab issue, they are now trying to assert their identity in India. That is the biggest problem.
That's
that
not
people
true.
are missing out. Why were the women who came out on the street against the... No, please let me finish. The women who were once out on the streets against the triple talaq issue suddenly say that hijab is our birthright, it's our choice, and nobody can impose that on us. So we will seek hijab as our identity. Why has it come out too? You need to discuss these points. You just can't be an ostrich in the sand.
On that point, can I just counter you on fact?
The
on
Hindu
fact.
organization
Because
tried to
I feel you could be misleading. I feel you could be misleading
Please.
the viewer there, Kamru. I just want to correct you on fact there. I just want to correct you on fact.
totally misleading.
I don't
Absolutely
mislead.
misleading.
I speak the ground
me
facts
respond to
because
him.
I'm a man from the
I'm
ground.
fact checking you. I'm
Because
fact checking
I
you,
live with
Kamru.
the people. I live
Kamru, I'm
with
fact checking you.
These are not the ground
Kamru, I'm
facts.
fact checking
I'll tell you the ground
Ferozi,
facts.
Ferozi, 1 minute. Ferozi,
I
Ferozi,
know
1
their
minute.
pulse. I am speaking out their pulse.
No. I'm fact checking you. Hear me. Have the patience to hear me. I'm fact checking you. I'm fact checking you because
I'll
in the
respond
same
to both
Ferozi,
Kamrul
1
as
minute.
well as,
Ferozi, 1 minute.
Atiqur.
Ferozi, let me make my point. I'm fact checking Kamru because Kamru said the Indian woman is fighting back because she was being oppressed in this particular case in the Udupi context, because he was trying to say that the girls were not being allowed to wear hijabs inside classrooms. Sir, let me tell you, that has been the rule for the last 2 decades. You can try and cross check and fact check me if I'm wrong, but that was the existing rule since the 1990s. You want to go back and check? Allowed inside the campus. Allowed in. I'm going to say that again. Allowed inside the campus. Allowed inside the cafeteria. Allowed in every other section apart from the classroom.
You cannot stop a female or to wear the hijab.
Pan-India
Then it's a democratic country, so you are supposed to.
No, that's a different debate.
Everyone to live the way they want to live.
Sujata ji, that's a different debate. If you say it's a democratic country, let's change the rules and wear a hijab anywhere. That's a different debate. That is a different debate.
And we are saying no,
that's a different debate. It's not relevant to this debate. No, 1 minute. Sujata, you're getting confused. No, Sujata ji, you're getting confused. You're getting confused.
No, I'm not getting confused.
You're getting confused. This is about the hijab verdict.
Over in India, they can do
No,
anything.
Sujata ji.
Women are not allowed to wear the hijab.
Sujata.
But the women.
No. Have the patience to hear me out. Tomorrow, the verdict in the Supreme Court is over the hijab verdict delivered by the Karnataka High Court, which went by the existing rules and backed the Karnataka government that the hijab cannot be allowed inside the classroom as per the rules and norms. This debate is about that. This debate is not about whether women have the right to wear a hijab inside campus. That's a different debate. This is about the debate of Karnataka, Udupi. Pawan Sinha wanted to come in. We'll talk about that also. Professor Sinha.
Yes. One thing I would like to tell you, and I would like to draw the attention of all the esteemed colleagues of mine here, that according to Surah Nur Ayat 35, hijab, this is the surah of Quran Majid. It is clearly written over that hijab is meant for men also. Hijab means sharm, aankhon ki sharm. Hijab doesn't mean a part of the clothes which they have to put on. The second thing, what Sujata ji is talking about, democracy. Democracy does not mean license to do everything everywhere. So, if court is taking a decision according to the dignity of the classroom, that has to be respected. Court is not going against the democracy. And those scholars who always say that it is a compulsion in Islam, it is not, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sahab also said, it is not a compulsion according to the Quran Majid. So better we should leave male chauvinism here itself and accept what Quran Majid says and accept what Honorable Court says.
Yeah, and before Atiq comes in, see, Atiq, okay, I'll bring you in with Firoz, but just picture this, okay? Atiq, just with a calm mind.
Small reflection.
No, 1 minute. Firoz, I'm getting you in. Firoz, I'm getting you in. Let me ask him a question.
He raised the question of the
let me ask him a question.
Muslim girl. Let me make it clear about.
Can I ask him a question and he will speak and I will let you respond to everyone once and for all, Firozji. 1 minute. Okay, just calmly, okay? Calmly. Atiq.
Okay.
Okay, picture two scenarios, okay? Now, in the context of hijab, what did the High Court say? I'm reading out, okay? The High Court of Karnataka said hijab was not an essential religious practice in Islam, is what the Karnataka High Court said. I didn't say it. Karnataka High Court said it. Okay? The state claimed in the Supreme Court that it had the authority to issue an order to educational institutions to follow the discipline of wearing the prescribed school uniforms. It's a school uniform. It's like saying tomorrow, okay, all of us went to schools. Tomorrow, if I go to school, or let's assume, okay, for example's sake, only for the sake of example, Professor Pavan Sinha goes to school.
That's not the argument out here, Niranjan.
No, hear me out. Kamru, hear me out.
Where does the right to education go when you consider uniform as the basis? No, give me 10 more seconds to counter.
Okay, 10 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds. Make your point. Make your point. I'll bring in Atiq after that. 10 seconds. Make your point.
No, basically the argument that these people are trying to bring out here is that the essentiality of hijab in Islam is disputed with regards to uniform in schools. But the basic question is, when 80% of the population, or rather 80 crore of the population is below the poverty line, you cannot just dictate terms of a uniform in the schools. The basic right of a child is the right to education, wherein the uniform should not be mandatory or should not precede the right to education for a girl child.
What are you
These
saying?
are all baseless arguments to impose a particular culture.
This is like Kamru saying now uniform is not important. Kamru saying uniform is not important. Kamru's logic is that uniform is not important. Fantastic.
People that try to
no, your logic is uniform is not important. First time I've heard that uniform is not important. Okay, Kamru, don't distract. Don't distract. I'm getting in Firoz. Firoz and Atiq, don't distract. You're saying uniform only is not important. Fantastic.
No, Niranjan, it's my turn, Niranjan.
Yeah, Firoz, I want Firoz to come in and then Atiq. Firoz, you want to say something?
No.
Firoz and then Atiq. Yeah.
Okay. Atiq Saab, just a minute. Just a minute. You are my younger brother. Just bear with me. Let us not become foghorns and shout out at each other. It's a very social and educational discussion. Let me tell you one thing. You see, you talked about the Muslim women, Muslim girls, about their modesty. Let me tell you, the modesty. I'll give you a very short example from Jama Masjid area in Old Delhi. What happens in that Jama Masjid area in Old Delhi, women are covered from top to bottom in burqa or in whatever form of parda. They are not allowed even to look out of their windows. So what happens? These girls are so much depressed, so much repressed, and compressed that they run away either with Hindu or Muslim boys. Now, this should, girls like men, they have their own liberty, they have their own system of life. They should be given full liberty, right? And apart from that, what you call hijab. Hijab, again I am telling you, it is of the eye. आँख का पर्दा होता है, अंदर का पर्दा होता है. ये नकली जो बुर्का आप डाल लें या नकाब डाल लें, that is not the hijab. Finally, having said that, let me also just 5 more seconds, Niranjan. The Indian girls should take a lesson from Iranian girls. Iranian girls are on the roads. They are trying to save their liberty. They are trying to save their rights, human rights. And these girls should also, only 6 girls out of 96 who are studying in that Udupi college, they only wanted hijab. Rest of the 90 girls, they don't want hijab.
Yeah, they were completely okay.
That is the thing. And hijab
Sir, out of the 6 also, Firozi.
And
out
these
of the
people
6,
are giving a bad name to India.
No, out of the 6, there were some from the campus front of India. Some who had marched through the campus front of India. Do you know that? Atiq will never tell you that.
Yes.
Which is now outlawed.
Maybe.
Maybe no, it is proven.
And do not
So
push
hijab
some
is a
important
matter of
things under the
choice.
carpet.
Who's pushing what under the carpet? Atiq, you just brushed it off.
Hijab is a matter of choice.
What have I pushed under the carpet?
This is not about choice.
No, you are.
Give me 30
Atiq
seconds,
Saab, sometimes you talk very sensibly and sometimes you talk very insensibly.
Firoz Sahab, your time is
Firoz,
over.
on a lighter note, Firozi, on a lighter note, Firozi, hear me out. Firozi, with Atiq, it's on a lighter note. 1 minute, Sujata ji.
These people are inside.
Alright, Sujata ji, I'll give you your turn. I'll give you your turn. 1 minute.
This is not the way.
Sujata ji is going on a tandent. 1 minute.
No.
Okay, I can't control if everyone is speaking at one time. Hear me out, please. I was going to say something about Atiqur Rahman. You're stopping me from doing that.
People like Kamrul and people like Atiqur Rahman, they are misguiding the Muslim community.
Okay, 1 minute. Hear me out. Firozi, 1 minute. You know Atiqur Rahman, I'll tell you. Atiqur Rahman. No, I'll tell you. Atiq, I'll tell you. I was going to say something about Atiq. Firozi, hear me out. I think you lost the line. You can't hear me. Can you hear me, Firozi? Checking my audio. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can listen to you.
Okay, then fine. If you can hear me, then just please take quiet for 10 seconds.
Yes.
10 seconds. I want to say something about Atiqur Rahman.
All right.
Atiqur Rahman on an odd day was against the PFI. On an even day, he was backing the PFI by questioning the ban. So Atiqur Rahman ka aajkal dekhna padega. Because see, he started off by saying, I applaud the Iranian women.
You have shown
and then he said, but...
You have shown him the mirror. आपने Atiqur Rahman साहब को शीशा दिखा दिया.
Let him speak. I was on a lighter note. That was on a lighter note. On Atiq. That was on a lighter note. Yeah, Atiq, go on. Atiq, see, even Firoz Bakht Ahmad is saying, you're very thoughtful. You're really measured on some days. You are. But on some issues, I think you just need to be a little circumspect.
He is very sensible on many days, but on some
okay, Firozi, hear him out.
Firozi,
Firozi, hear him out. Atiq is coming in and then I'll get Sangeet Ragi. Yes.
People like Firoz Sahab then should understand that if you are claiming that the burqa or the hijab is imposed on the Muslim women, your argument does not
Nobody has done
ground.
that.
When you say out of 90 girls, only 6 are demanding, and they went to a constitutional court demanding their rights. This proves that they are not under any imposition by the community. Point number 1. Point number 2. You have failed to answer my question that who are you to question the agency of women? How shall they guard their modesty according to the Quran? You are no one to dictate.
Yeah, because all of you created this issue. This is not even This is not even the issue. It was a simple issue about it being an essential religious practice or not. And then you communalize the issue, you polarize people.
This is your duplicity.
No, I'm getting in.
This is your duplicity.
Okay, let him come in. Let Sangeet Ragi come in.
But not the women
Let
of
Sangeet Ragi
India.
come in. Let Sangeet Ragi. Okay, Sangeet Ragi, 30 seconds. Quickly. Yeah.
Niranjan, they all are demanding in pretext of the freedom of choice. Fine, absolutely, you have a right to do this in a democratic setup. but you are questioning those who are in favor of it. Remember, the women also have the right to decide what they want to wear and what they don't want to wear. Unfortunately, it is the community socialization and pressure which is pushing them into burqa and hijab. You know, this is my experience as a professor in the university, that the child whom I used to teach at undergraduate level was never in burqa, and all of a sudden, under the pressure of the community, which they openly say, they now start wearing hijab. And this is something we in the 21st century we cannot go out with a medieval mind. That the women,
the irony, Sangeet Ragi, the irony is in the year 2022, Iran, people of Iran are against the hijab, but some in India want the hijab.
Niranjan, nobody in Iran is against the hijab.
I have to take a break at this point. I have to take a break at this point. Let's see. I just hope and pray that everybody accepts the verdict. I mean, there'll be nothing. You can complain about it, but you will have to admit the verdict, accept the verdict when it comes in. Thank you for joining us. We're keeping close watch on the developments in the Supreme Court. Thank you very much. No longer on the fence anymore. A new India is empowering a paradigm shift. The mission now is global dominance. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
TMC MLA Manik Bhattacharya has been arrested by ED in the recruitment of primary teachers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurating Mahakaleshwar Temple Corridor in Ujjain.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. 2021, the Indian economy was all geared up.
We are headed for greatness as a nation. We will be a superpower. If there's something that I want to see in our lifetime, it is to have our best living years as a citizen of a superpower.
Now there's a new goal, Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. We are the fastest growing economy. We have the potential to become a superpower. Last year, the economy was all geared up. Now it's time to set the goal in sight. Mission Superpower.
We are the fifth largest economy. We are the fastest growing major economy. Last year, the economy was all geared up. Now is the time to set the goal in sight. Mission Superpower.
Steady amid recession. Steady amid inflation. Goal is global dominance. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. Last year, we were all geared up.
This network is proof that everything in India is greenfield. Is it time for the Republic Network to do a spectacular intervention in global digital news media or not? It's my passion project. So that is our consecration to making India a superpower.
Now India has a clear goal, Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Mission Superpower is the goal. Now it is time to get there. Policymakers, economists and new business leaders assemble on one platform. A platform that puts the spotlight on India's race to global domination. A platform where the most pressing questions are discussed. A platform that celebrates the country's exponential growth. Republic Media Network proudly presents the country's biggest India Economic Summit this October 14th only on Republic TV.
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hard work.
It raises serious questions about the safety of women in Kerala. Kerala is a state where women literacy, education of women is on par with men. One of the rare states in the whole country. In such a state, the safety of women is now a question mark, because
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Last year, we were all geared up.
This network is proof that everything in India is greenfield. Is it time for the Republic Network to do a spectacular intervention in global digital news media or not? It's my passion project. So that is our consecration to making India a superpower.
Now India has a clear goal, mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on mission superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Mission Superpower is the goal. Now it is time to get there. Policymakers, economists and new business leaders assemble on one platform. A platform that puts the spotlight on India's race to global domination. A platform where the most pressing questions are discussed. A platform that celebrates the country's exponential growth. Republic Media Network proudly presents the country's biggest India Economic Summit this October 14th only on Republic TV.
The world supermarket. The world is ours for the taking. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. Mission superpower is the ultimate goal. There's no stopping the India story. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. No longer on the fence anymore. A new India is empowering a paradigm shift. The mission now is global dominance. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. From an emerging economy, now the fifth largest economy in the world, India has seen exponential growth in the last 8 years. The preferred investment destination of the world now has a goal: Mission Superpower. Union ministers, bankers, investors, policymakers, thinkers. Republic Media Network proudly presents the second edition of the India Economic Summit this October 14th. Only no longer on the fence anymore. A new India is empowering a paradigm shift. The mission now is global dominance. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
TMC MLA Manik Bhattacharya has been arrested by edict in the recruitment of primary teachers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurating Mahakaleshwar Temple Corridor in Ujjain.
Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. 2021, the Indian economy was all geared up.
We are headed for greatness as a nation. We will be a superpower. If there's something that I want to see in our lifetime, it is to have our best living years as a citizen of a superpower.
It's a very cruel thing, and we are astonished that in a society which achieved this kind of education and this empowerment, etc., how it is happening here. It is because the superstitions and this kind of false beliefs are still there in the society.
We are the fifth largest economy. We are the fastest growing major economy. Last year the economy was all geared up. Now is the time to set the goal in sight. Mission Superpower.
Steady amid recession. Steady amid inflation. Goal is global dominance. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. Last year, we were all geared up.
This network is proof that everything in India is greenfield. Is it time for the Republic Network to do a spectacular intervention in global digital news media or not? It's my passion project. So that is our consecration to making India a superpower.
Now India has a clear goal: Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. Time to once again action our destiny. Focus on Mission Superpower. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit.
Mission Superpower is the goal. Now it is time to get there. Policymakers, economists, and new business leaders assemble on one platform. A platform that puts the spotlight on India's race to global domination. A platform where the most pressing questions are discussed. A platform that celebrates the country's exponential growth. Republic Media Network proudly presents the country's biggest India Economic Summit this October 14th only on Republic TV.
The world supermarket. The world is ours for the taking. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. Mission Superpower is the ultimate goal. There's no stopping the India story. Witness the India growth story. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. No longer on the fence anymore. A new India is empowering a paradigm shift. The mission now is global dominance. Republic Media Network brings you India's biggest economic summit. From an emerging economy, now the fifth largest economy in the world, India has seen exponential growth in the last 8 years. The preferred investment destination of the world now has a goal: Mission